This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Bergamy.
Wow, is it really November? Well, time flies when you're having fun, right? And we do like to have fun on the show. Glad you tuned in for another edition of the Farm Monitor. Ray DeLessio at your service, flying solo this week as Kenny B takes some time off. And not only do we like to have fun here on the show, but we also like for you to say, you know, I actually learned something by watching. Coming up, discover the story of a thriving legacy in the heart of the North Georgia mountains. See for yourself the world and evolution of Aaron Family Orchards. From hurricane struggles to pecan delights, get an inside look at the resilient Meritt Pecan Farm, where hard work and dedication result in delicious handcrafted pies and more. Plus, it was once a profitable dairy in Bibb County. Now, it's just an empty barn. The legacy of Donacin Dairy and the reluctant transition in the face of changing times. These stories and so much more right now on the Farm Monitor. Ah, yes, fall. The season of beautiful scenery, cooler temperatures, and of course, delicious North Georgia apples. The Monitor's John Holcomb visited Aaron Family Orchard in Gilmer County and explains how this family operation is adapting to a changing market.
If you take a stroll up through North Georgia this time of year, there's a few things you're guaranteed to see. Beautiful mountains and apple market after apple market stocked full of this year's apples. One of those markets is Aaron Family Orchards, an operation that's been a staple in the LJ community for decades.
As soon as you walk in, you'll notice it's a really old building. My great-grandparents actually built the orchard or bought the property in 1938, started construction on here, and Aaron's Apple House back then officially opened in 1944 with Shafter, Reba, and then my grandpa and my great uncles. Over time, you know, the orchard grew from year to year. Back in those days, we were 100% wholesale. Over the past 20, 30 years, wholesale for us has started to move down, and retail has started to pick up, and so we've had to adapt to the market by adding in different things to keep people coming to orchard year after year.
Aaron, who's been involved with the operation his entire life, is now the fourth generation to run the business, and as he has begun to take the reins, has continued working to adapt to the changing market by focusing more on agritourism, as they now sell a variety of canned jams and jellies, baked goods, and for the first time, offer a U-pick flower patch.
Some of the big things that we've added in a wide array of canned goods. Of course, we've always had cider, but making sure it's in quantities where people will want to buy it, take home. Getting a variety of different baked goods, so whether that be fried pies, apple sour donuts, breads, a few other novelty items. And when you go through the store, you'll see we have some candies, we have some soaps and candles, seasonings, different jewelry, things like that. Things that are all centered around kind of the Appalachian feel that we have in our store. And then when it comes to agritourism, this year, this is the first time we've tried it, we added in a U-pick flower patch.
According to Aaron, the patch was a huge success and says that going forward, he plans on continuing to evolve the business by working to create a family-friendly environment. An environment that offers several different activities for people to make new memories and perhaps create new traditions.
The only thing you can do in agriculture is keep on growing. You have to, you know, we teach kids this every day in FFA and 4-H. It's either better days through better ways or to make the best better. And that's just what we got to keep on doing. We have got to, one main thing for our orchard, we've got to add in more family-friendly opportunities for them. That's one way. We just got to keep on growing and keep getting more land, planting more trees, adding in more opportunities for people to come here and make memories.
Reporting in LJ for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
Meantime, with Georgia pumping out over a third of the country's pecans, things get pretty lively this time of year. Growers are knee-deep in the fields, hustling to get that precious crop out. Damon Jones swung by Meritt Pecan in Webster County, where they handle everything from picking pecans to getting them onto the store shelves.
While Georgia might be better known for its poultry and peanuts, it's also the nation's leading producer in pecans. And even though some areas of the state were severely impacted by Hurricane Idalia, the overall quality looks to be strong.
Our crop looks pretty good this year. We just getting into them. We've been into our pawnees and gone over them, and now we're getting into other varieties and still got a ways to go. We got some good weather right now, and thankful for that. I'm ready to get after it, and let's get them in. And like I say, as long as we got some good weather, we're out here every day.
It's been that way for the past several months as well, with these trees needing plenty of TLC throughout the year in order to be ready for harvest.
Oh, it's a lot of work. We're spraying a lot, mowing, herbiciding, and it's just something, working on irrigation, and don't ever seem like we get caught up, but we somehow or another put it together at the end.
Unlike many other pecan operations, the Merritts are able to get them from the field to their shelves all in-house thanks to their very own shelling plant.
Well, we get them out of the field, and then we take them back to the plant and get them clean, and then we're ready to, we're going to shell them. We size them to shell them, or we might just put them in the warehouse and sell them on the open market.
Speaking of market, this general store is a one-stop shop for everything pecan, as they sell candies, snacks, and of course, homemade pies.
We make our own pies and a lot of our cakes here, so that's labor intensive. We don't have a lot of machinery to do it. It's all done by hand. We make our pies 6 at a time, and we usually sell about 3,000 pies in a year. So we think that that special touch makes it more delicious for the customer.
That's quite the jump from their original store back in the 1980s, which had just a fraction of the products they now offer.
Yeah, we started off small. We just had pecans, and then we started having roasted salted pecans, and then customers asked, well, why don't you have pies? So we added pies. So we listen to our customers and see what they want and look at other vendors and see what they have to offer so we can give a better selection to our customers.
And its customer base has also grown over the years, with many making it a destination stop.
It's gratifying to have repeat customers and asking for our pecans every year. We got a lot of people that make our stop as they travel to Florida or they travel to Atlanta or Birmingham or wherever.
We have so many who support us. We're on a major road. We have a lot of travelers who go back and forth from Albany to Columbus, and they're very loyal. They stop in, and we know them by name. They've been coming here for years.
Reporting from Webster County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
When we come back, it's the story of faith, loss, and a family's struggle to hold on to their legacy. Join us as we explore the heart-wrenching journey of Donacin Dairy and the overwhelming support they receive from an entire community. A growing crisis is gripping our nation's small dairy farms. The pastoral landscapes that once epitomized rural prosperity are now marred by the harsh reality of shuttered barn doors and abandoned milking equipment. Among these casualties, Donacin Dairy in Bibb County stands as an example of the plight facing these traditional family-owned enterprises. This past August, Donacin milked its final cow, and in doing so, became the last dairy farm in Bibb County to shut its doors. Recently, I sat down with Donacin owner Benjamin Newberry to learn firsthand the challenges, the heartaches, and the enduring spirit of an industry battling to preserve a way of life that's as much a part of their heritage as it is their livelihood.
There's parts of it that you are glad you don't have to deal with anymore, but there's a lot of it that you come and you see an empty barn and an empty pasture. It's a tough pill to swallow sometimes.
With the fields of Bibb County serving as its backdrop, 50 years have passed since Donacin Dairy filled its first container of milk. What was once a bustling hub of life, the heart of a dairy empire, is now a haunting shell of its former glory. Empty milk tanks loom like silent sentinels, bearing witness to the decades of hard work and dedication that had once coursed through the veins of this family-owned business. Stalls where cows had been passionately milked day after day, now layered with cobwebs.
The quietness of the church, and in my office I opened this Jameson Fawcett Brown commentary. Pages in it are old and thin and discolored, and I was reading the commentary on that passage of scripture, and verse 62's commentary, the very last sentence of that commentary of that verse, said it's not a return to the world, but a reluctance to break from it. And when I read that, that was, I broke down in my office that morning, and tears come to my eyes, and God said it's time. They have to go.
Benjamin Newberry, the patriarch of the family, looks over his once active milking stations, struggling with an identity he had known his entire life. Like so many small dairymen in his position, the business has transformed from a labor of love into a struggle for survival. According to Benjamin, the traditional gallon of milk, the lifeblood of the Newberry farm, is now wielded as a lost leader by grocery stores and markets. Additionally, he points out the squeeze on profits, milk prices, and a perpetual free fall, while the cost of feeding his beloved cows constantly on the rise. People too are changing their tastes, gravitating towards non-dairy alternatives. The world has moved on, says Benjamin, and the Newberry's farm was caught in the undertow of change.
It was part of my identity. It was part of who I was. I grew up on the farm. I stayed on the farm. I raised my kids on the farm, and just had a reluctance to break from it, but knew that it was the right decision from a business standpoint, and but also because God said it was time, and so that's what I did. The market doesn't need a small dairy. We needed the market, and with the market being so small, as I would say in the Southeast, it becomes increasingly difficult for a small dairyman to survive. You had to, these larger family-owned farms and producers realized that they had to get big enough that the market needed them, and they had the foresight to grow and meet the demands of the market, but also get to a place that the market is dependent upon them.
At their peak, Donacin Dairy had about 300 cows. Today, this is all that remains. A couple of Holsteins, a handful of Jerseys, and some beef cattle. Yet the true heartbreak is the impact the closing of the dairy will have on the Newberry family. Benjamin often dreamt of passing the farm down through generations, watching his children and their children tend to the cows he had lovingly cared for. Now, their legacy is forced to take a different path, a new avenue not yet paved. Even though Donacin Dairy is now silent, its legacy will live on in the hearts of the Newberry family, a testament to the spirit of those who once worked this farm with love and devotion. Although his heart is heavy, Benjamin tells me he is grateful for what really matters most: his family, his faith, and position as pastor of Calvary Baptist Church, and the entire community of Bibb County, which Benjamin says has gone above and beyond to show its support.
There was 42 dairies in this county in the early 70s, and we were the last of them to survive. And you don't realize how many people you affect in life until you experience a life-changing moment. And it's been good, and I'm grateful for it. Me and Ashley are expecting our first grandchild at Christmas, and so that's exciting, and dealing with that and helping my youngest daughter prepare for that, and really haven't been short of things to do. But as far as what my identity will be, if I tell people what I'm doing, it would probably be just continuing to pastor Calvary Baptist Church and loving on the people and helping where I can.
Like he said, tough pill to swallow, and we certainly wish Benjamin and his entire family the best of luck in their future endeavors. When we come back, from cabbage to kale, watermelons to leeks, this Toombs County operation is a lifeline for local farmers.
The field of animal science encompasses both the biology and management of domestic livestock. This includes beef and dairy cattle, horses, pigs, sheep, goats, and companion animals. But in the Animal and Dairy Science Department at the University of Georgia, studying animals is just the beginning. Students can choose to study the science behind animal breeding and genetics, gain skills in food product development or sales, or uncover new ways to repair diseased human and animal tissues. Faculty at the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences provide students with a Tier 1 animal science education, thanks to the department's diverse research and outreach backgrounds. At CAES, we are developing new cures for the devastating diseases that touch all of our lives, including stroke and Alzheimer's. We are improving the efficiency of beef production and reducing livestock greenhouse gas emissions. We are working at the intersection of animal nutrition and microbiology to ensure the safety of the world's food supply. Through a variety of degree options and unique hands-on experiences, UGA animal and dairy science students have endless opportunities to learn. In addition to undergraduate programs that help students prepare for medical or veterinary school, gain an understanding of livestock biology and the inner workings of the dairy industry, we offer internships and study abroad programs to enhance the college curriculum. We also have a variety of highly ranked graduate programs for students who want to take their existing degrees to the next level. And while our reach is wide, our department is tight-knit. Students learn from each other and push each other towards success. At CAES, students work side by side with faculty who are performing cutting-edge research in a variety of areas. As a result, our students graduate as top competitors in their field, ready to become leaders and improve our world. Join us as we commit to improving animal and human health and well-being around the world.
Well, finally this week, many of our Georgia farmers are hard at work either preparing for harvest or wrapping things up, which begs the question, do you know where they get their plants before they start growing on their farms? The Monitor's Jennifer Parson traveled to Toombs County to see for herself how RNK Green Houses prepares transplants for our farmers.
We grow vegetable transplants. There's so many different varieties. You've got red cabbage, you've got green cabbage, you've got black cabbage, you've got Chinese cabbage, you've got Joy Choice. There's just a multitude of different things.
Kay Usher, owner and operator of RNK Green Houses, stays busy growing not only cabbage, but collards, kale, watermelons, broccoli, and leeks.
It's a good 20 degrees hotter inside that house right now than it is outside that house right now. In one greenhouse, I will have 3,600 trays. That's 1 million plants.
Her operation is unique because she grows the vegetable transplants here in her greenhouses and sells them to farmers to replant on their land to harvest later.
This is our irrigation machine. And when it gets to the other end of the house, this side will turn off, this side will turn on, and it'll come back and it'll water this side.
They're growing in their greenhouses year-round.
I have some cabbage seed here, and whenever it first gets started, it's black. And we want to be healthy, so we want to make sure that the seed is safe and clean, so they get a chemical put on them to make them safe and to help control diseases in our greenhouses. And so that's what makes them green. When you plant cabbage, you're planting about 18,400 plants per acre. You're planting them like 9.5 inches apart.
That means that one greenhouse could grow enough vegetable transplants for 50 acres of farmland. Farmers usually don't start harvesting cabbage until November, but Kay's job starts much earlier than that.
I start planting them in late July and early August, and then my customer picks the plant up from me in late August and early to middle September. He will be harvesting that crop sometime around Thanksgiving.
She says it generally takes around 5 weeks from when she puts the seed in these trays to when she sells the plants to the farmers. First, she uses a piece of equipment to grind the soil into a very fine mix.
And it drops the soil down onto the top of the tray. And then it pushes it. And then it puts a little hole in the top of the tray. And then that tray will come through this belt and it will go into our seeder. And then our seeder is attached to a vacuum and it sucks the seed up on each one of these little points. When the tray comes in here and that drum rolls over, it drops that seed off with a little shot of water. And then it keeps on going and it comes down here and we get it covered up with this white stuff called perlite. And it helps protect the seed and keep the moisture on top of the seed so that the seed will sprout and make a plant.
But this process hasn't always gone this smoothly.
I started with 2 houses in 1989 was the first year we put in a crop.
And the technology was much different then.
We would have to physically move the tray up under a cedar and we'd stand there all day long and pick the cedar up and put it down and pick it up and put it down. And we would do like all day long, like 800 trays. Now that we have all of this kind of equipment, we do 4,000 a day. And that's how it happens.
She says a common misconception of growing plants in a greenhouse is that it's easy.
I have a degree in agriculture from the University of Georgia. I use it every day. You need math, you need science.
Without Kay's operation providing vegetable transplants to our farmers, we may not have some of the vegetables we see in our grocery stores today.
I love to see the plants grow. I love everything about what I do.
In Toombs County, I'm Jennifer Parson reporting for the Farm Monitor.
Jennifer, thanks so much, and thank you for making this show possible. Before we send you on your way, a friendly reminder that for all the latest ag news regarding food, recipes, and what's happening on Georgia farms, be sure you check out all of our social media platforms, including farm-monitor.com. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Have a great week.